Welcome to ODC, better known as Off the Cuff. We're your hosts, Big Hefe and my bro,
Ulika.
It's January 16th, 2021, and this is the first episode of the second season. I'm real excited about that. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Thank you. Same to you.
And as season one came to a close, we got a good feel for what we want the show to be. And personally, I just want to be able to bring joy and entertainment for everybody, whether that's empathizing with your heartaches, celebrating your blessings, or simply, bringing a smile to your face every week. This year, hopefully, will be better than last year. I think everybody's looking forward to a better year. We have a special guest on our show today, and he's going to share his thoughts and insights with us on that as well. We're going to talk about ushering in the new year, building relationships, keeping them strong, keeping in touch, which people don't like to do anymore, it seems. Whether it's friendships, romantic involvements, how to, keep that going and see what we all think about that. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and introduce Mr. Rashad Burt. He's from the Rashad Burt Show. What's up, Rashad? How's it going, man?
How you feeling, man?
Feeling good. How was your holidays?
My holidays was good. First of all, I just want to say thank y'all for having me. It's definitely an honor.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm glad you can come on, man. Like I was telling you before, Ulika and I are in different states. So it's kind of, sometimes it's difficult, and I wish we had a studio together and we could do this, but we make it work.
Hey, that's all that matters, that you can make it work. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
We do our best.
Hey.
So you're the host of the Rashad Burt Show, right?
Yes. I had to change the name, actually. It used to be called We Vibin', but
okay.
I had to change the name because somebody had it. And I was in the process of trying to get a website, and I'm still trying to get my website up. But I didn't know what I was going to change the name to. And at the drop of a dime, I was talking to a friend of mine, and they was like, well, why don't you brand it after yourself? And and at the moment, I was like, if you're going to bet on somebody, you should bet on yourself. So That's how, the Rashad Burt Show got birthed. And
nice.
We're going to rock. So.
Well, I love the topics. I told you this before. I was hearing a few of your shows, and I really like the topics you focus on. Can you talk a little about what made you come up with a podcast?
Well, the reason why I came up with a podcast, because I was always good at talking to people. And I kept saying to myself, how can I touch people on a bigger scale? You know what I'm saying? I mean, yes, you got Facebook, but I wanted something where I'm in control of how people view me. So when you listen to my podcast, you get me. And as every episode goes, I want you to get more of me, something different about me that you learned and you can grasp and say, you know what? I feel this dude, So how much of myself do I give? Do I give all of me like John Legend, or do I just some of it? Do I keep some stuff back? That's what I'm struggling with right now. How much do I give to people?
Right. Well, I mean, I do like your positivity on there. I noticed that you focus on that and just trying to stay upbeat. A lot of people find that hard, especially these days. So
yeah,
that's really good that you have that, that show like that to reach people and kind of remind them that everything's going to be fine. Just take a deep breath.
If I may interject,
yeah, go ahead.
For our listeners that have never heard of his show, Rashad, could you tell us a little bit about your show? Like some of the topics that you've covered?
So some of the topics that I've covered topics in relationships. I've covered topics that's going around in the culture, like certain stuff that's going on in the news. I pick my spots on where I feel that I want to talk about. So sometimes if it's a story that's going around, say something that happened in D.C. or something that happened in Colorado, there's a lot going on with the police brutality. Certain topics I want to cover and give my take on it, how I feel about it. And those are some of the current events that I talk about. So I don't just talk about the relationships. I talk about a lot of things. I do talk about relationships and certain topics that go on in relationships, but I also, talk about the current events. I got a motivational segment. I just started doing music reviews, so I'm juggling a lot. So I want people to say, you know what, he's giving me everything I want and more. That's the goal. So
Okay. Could you tell us on your last episode, what did you talk about?
on my last episode is a few relationship topics that I brought up that I found, and they were very interesting.
Such as?
So one of them was, it was a, let me see if I can remember. Dang. I got caught on the spot.
You put him on the spot, bro.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
No, you didn't know. It's okay. It's okay. I wasn't ready. But it was a couple relationship topics, and I'm trying to think of one of them. You got to come back to me because I can't remember them all off the top of my head. But they were just, I think I covered 3 topics that were some real difficult relationship issues, and I gave my input on them. And I try to find some real good topics because I want somebody to say, you know what, I never would even have thought about somebody bringing up this topic and them shedding light on it. So
yeah, like giving them a different point of view, different perspective. Yeah.
Well,
we do yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, bro. Go ahead. Finish your sentence.
Oh, I was just going to say, we do a segment on here. It's Devil's Advocate. People write in their problems and we give them a different perspective. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. But go ahead, bro.
So I was going to ask Rashad. So, one of the many topics that probably are unspoken, but in relationships, however, play a major role in a relationship is finances.
Yes.
So, have you ever had a show where you discussed the finances in a relationship and how it can either strengthen it or weaken it?
I haven't yet, but it's definitely coming because...
Well, that in this case, since you have not, then how about you give our listeners a little perspective from your point of view of finances in a relationship and how it can affect it. Just something real quick, real basic, kind of like a summary, and maybe eventually you can get to an episode where you dedicate some time to more in-depth thought.
Yeah. So for me, in relationships, if y'all both have bank accounts and say y'all going out, right? I need to have a trust to say, okay, this is what we're spending, whether y'all going on vacation and y'all going out somewhere, or maybe y'all decide, y'all get to a point in y'all relationship where y'all have a joint account. Y'all not married yet, but y'all are in a relationship and y'all get a joint account. So now y'all got this joint account. You have to trust that other partner to say, you know what, I'm trusting you with the finances. As far as I'm trusting you not to spend all the money, because now it's our money.
Right. That's a difficult thing to do, isn't it?
It is. But sometimes it doesn't happen that way because sometimes that trust isn't there and the money gets spent. Now y'all arguing over money. It's just one of those things where, what do you do? Do you keep that? Now this is where it gets weird, because now do you keep a little bit of money away and don't tell her about it, or do you stay honest and I'll just keep y'all 2 accounts or share an account?
To that respect, I mean, do you want to put all your eggs in one basket?
Yeah, see, you know what I'm saying?
Because, I think that even in a relationship, both sides would still want to retain a certain level of independence.
Yeah.
Which is also equally important because, what if as a couple, they both make the wrong decisions and now they're both in the poorhouse?
Yeah, that's true too. That can happen. Most definitely.
Mm-hmm. And then how does that affect the relationship?
Oh, the trust isn't there. So now the trust isn't there. Now.
Oh, no, hold on. The trust is there. They both made the same decisions. They said, let's do it. Let's do it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. But those decisions did not pan out as they thought it would, and now they're both in the poorhouse. So how does that then affect the relationship? See, there at that point, I don't think it's a question of trust. It's more a question of frustration from both parties.
It is. And now you have to go back to the drawing board of, together, we're not making the right decision. So you have to say to yourself, well, are they meant to be together? Because if y'all can't make decisions together, if y'all can't both come up with a plan to succeed, not only in the finances, but, in a relationship, then are you meant to be together? Because that could be a red flag to say, you know what, maybe we aren't as close, or maybe we're not on the same sheet of music. So I look at things like that too, because I've had a lot of failed relationships. I'm not scared to admit that, but in those failures came lessons that I can use to help somebody else. And I'm still learning because, I'm still reading. You're still going through stuff as you still filter through people that you may think about getting into a relationship with. You don't give up on love. You still try at it till, that right one comes along. But also, you just got to keep in mind what's out there and not just go after anybody.
Right. Hearing you guys talk about this and listening about the relationships, it makes me count my blessings, man. because I, and not to say, I don't want to, anybody who's single out there, and there's a lot of people that are single and looking for love, but I don't want to, discourage you. I know that there's so many aspects in a relationship, and I don't want people to get discouraged, but just, remember that don't be selfish, but you're important.
Yeah.
Don't especially, and I don't want to sound chauvinistic, but females, are known to be more emotional, correct?
Yeah.
And so,
I have to play devil's advocate.
Oh, go ahead.
Yes, there might be that denomination of emotion there, but I'll give you another perspective.
Okay.
As my mother constantly reminds me, and so does my lady, men are dreamers and women are doers. Men have their feet up in the clouds and women have their feet down on the ground. And, from a business perspective, I've always said, if you want to know how things work, ask a man. But if you want to get things done, ask a woman.
Because, and to also play devil's advocate, I can also say sometimes you may not think of certain ways to do things until that person shows you, aka that woman. Because you may have thought that you had all your plans together, and then she'd be like, well, have you thought about this? And you'd be like, you didn't even know that was your business partner all along. You thought that you needed your boy, but you didn't need your boy. You needed her because she already done factored it out. She got a business degree. She's all ready to do that job. She's just waiting for you to say, babe, I need you. I need your help, So.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's a partnership. It's very much so a partnership from what I've learned. Like you said, don't ever give up on love, because that's when it deteriorates. You got to have that love and respect, mutually.
Yeah, most definitely.
But it's not easy. So
it's work.
That's what it could be worth it though, Yeah, man. We really appreciate you coming on our show, man.
No,
and
man,
it's been really dope. If you want to stick around with us, you can. We're gonna go ahead and get into our segments after this break.
Oh, sure. You know what I'm saying? I got a few more minutes. I ain't doing nothing.
Also, just tell people out there where, our listeners, where you can be found on social media and stuff.
You can find me on Facebook at Rashad Burt, .com on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram at Rashad DC. And you can find me on, what's that other one? TikTok at Rashad202.
Oh, you're on TikTok?
Yeah, I'm on TikTok. No.
I just installed that. My daughter's 10 years old. She's like, what are you doing installing TikTok?
But see, I'm
a 45-year-old man. I know.
On TikTok, I'm doing something different. I'm doing motivational videos. So everybody's singing and dancing. I'm out there just, doing something different. So
I got you. You're using it properly, I think. Because, all you see now is like dances and stuff. It's like,
I said I'm about to mess them up.
Yeah. People talk about important things, Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and take a break, and we'll be back with Notable Deaths.
Oh, Lord.
You should be trapping.
All right, so we're back. Let's get into these notable deaths, bro, shall we? Because
You're near death.
Well, I gotta pay respect to people that have lived a good life, man. And we lost quite a bit of legends.
Yeah, we did.
After we got up. Since October 2020, because what we did, Rashad, we took a break for the holidays.
I saw that. I was like, I was going to ask you about that because I said when I went on, to check out a couple episodes, I was like, hold up, they ain't made an episode since October. And I was like, they got some explaining to do.
Kindly explain this fucking nonsense.
I got to ask about this, and I didn't get a chance to.
Yeah, it was a little bit longer than I wanted to go, but, I figured everybody would be busy with, coronavirus rules.
Coronavirus!
Their families and stuff. And so, but, I wish we had gone back sooner. And then plus we had issues in our lives.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, life does happen,
Yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead and read them off here real quick. But we lost Eddie Van Halen. I know you guys heard of it. Legendary guitarist. Eddie Van Halen. Yep, from Van Halen. Remember, bro?
Yeah, I remember Van Halen,
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be able to point him out in a picture, but unless it said Van Halen on his shirt. But as far as I recall, he was a long-haired guitarist-looking dude.
Right.
From the 80s.
He had him and his wife, Valerie Bertinelli. I guess he was the ex-husband. And they had a kid named Wolfgang. And he played... Yeah, he used to play with his dad in the bands, which is really cool when he grew up, And so he's really, really sad about this. His dad died from throat cancer on October 6th, 2020. And he was only 65. So and then on October 8th, we lost Whitey Ford. I know you probably don't know who Whitey Ford is, bro, because you're not a sports fan.
I venture to say that he's related to the Ford family somehow, as in like a truck.
No, he's actually a legendary baseball player, and he is back in the day because he was on the Yankees. He pitched, and he passed away at 91 years of age. He won 6 championships with the Yankees. He was with them for 16 years. I don't remember the years, but obviously from his age, he was back in the golden era.
Oh yeah, he lived. It sounded like he lived 91 years.
Yeah, he lived.
Yeah, he definitely lived.
Yeah, so that would be a life to celebrate, you know what I'm saying? Because if I could live till 91, I mean, not that I don't know if I really want to, but if I did, I would be nice. I'd be okay with it. So American Idol, I don't know if you guys used to watch that or did watch it or do watch it.
I did.
I heard of it. Never.
It's still on. You heard of it. Just a little show. But it started way back in like 2001, I believe. And so on that show, there was a girl at the time named Nikki McKibben. And she, I think, had like tattoos. She looked like a rock girl. And she died at 42 on October 21. She suffered an aneurysm and was taken off life support 4 days later. So that's pretty sad. She was on life support, and that's kind of hard for, I think, families to experience. And this one right here, well, I think you heard about this one, Sean Connery.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Oh man, devastated. I was devastated.
I know you were, because you're a big James Bond fan. I know.
Yes.
Rashad, this guy named his dog James Bond.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
Hey, that's a true fan, though. That's a true fan.
Tell me about it.
That is
And
remember back in the 90s, bro, when we used to
go to RKO Video to go get all the James Bond flicks, and you'd be like, damn, bro, can we watch something else?
That too, but I was going to talk about the voicemails that we used to, people used to put music on their voicemails. You remember that?
Bro, you got to get it right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you got to get it right for the time. It was an answering machine. Okay, it was an answering machine. It's different voicemail.
Yeah. But Rashad, Ulika used to have James Bond theme song playing in the background while he's talking, and this was badass, man. It sounded good. And you were like 16, 17.
I was also Sean Connery.
Yeah, you were talking like that.
Hey, that's
it's crazy.
That's the best. You know what I'm saying? Not
True fan.
only to pay homage, but just to know how much you really messed with him.
Yep. Yeah, he did. He was definitely. I mean, he was just classy. You're right. I mean, he had something about him.
Not only did I enjoy the James Bond movies, and let me back up a little bit. At first, my first time watching a James Bond movie, it was Never Say Never Again, right? Which was with Roger Moore. And then I got into seeing the other James Bond flicks. And really what it was that attracted me to them were the gadgets. I was 8 years old. I was into gadgets, electronics, stuff like that. I thought that was very cool. And so, that's what I watched. And then I discovered that there were other flicks of James Bond. It was like a whole saga thing. And I saw Goldfinger, the young Sean Connery. And perhaps maybe it's because, he and my dad have a certain resemblance. But, I paid attention to, my favorite James Bond flicks are the ones with Sean Connery. Then he kind of ruined it for when Roger Moore was James Bond.
Yeah, he didn't like him too much, huh?
But to that respect, I think I really enjoyed Sean Connery's acting style and persona in all his movies. So I started watching other movies, One of the movies that I'm a big fan of, Tom Clancy books, The Hunt for Red October, where Sean Connery played the Russian captain of a nuclear submarine that went rogue.
Yeah, that was a big movie.
Yeah. So I just basically became a fan of Sean Connery,
Yeah.
Maybe it's a Scottish accent, I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Well, distinguished gentleman. Yeah, he was 90. He died on October 31st, Halloween of all times.
Yeah, that's crazy.
My sister sent me condolences text message.
Right. Like, I mean, it was a big deal, man. And also another big one, Alex Trebek, the Jeopardy host.
Oh, yeah. Man.
With the really long microphone.
He was battling a 2-year battle. I thought it was longer, but it was a 2-year battle with pancreatic cancer, man. And he was 80. So, as you get older, man, it's harder to fight that stuff. Yeah. And November 6th, he succumbed to pancreatic cancer, man.
Well, I have a notable death of my own. It's probably not within your guidelines of notable deaths. And I can't tell you how old this person was. And hell, I can't even tell you his name. But he just recently died on January 6th. He was the Capitol police officer that was killed during that mob rush at the Capitol. Okay. Well, I think that's a notable death that we should mention, as he was just there doing his job, providing for his family. And
right, that's sad. Yeah, what happened at the Capitol?
Senseless death. Senseless death.
It was, for sure, man. And thank you for taking that time out to, honor him, man. Just doing his job. Public service. Also, Tommy D. Tiny Lister Jr. Remember
Debo?
Tiny from Friday? Debo, that's right.
Debo?
Yeah, man. They found him in his house, man. He was found dead on December 10th. Before he died, they said that he had some kind of stomach ache or something. He didn't feel well. He went home to lay down, and they didn't hear from him for like 2 days. And and he was actually, I think, filming a movie.
Hold on a second. Let me make sure I know who we're talking about, and I'm not confusing things. As you know, bro, I'm real bad with names of actors. But
his name is
D-Bone.
He a big dude.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a big dude, muscle bounded, right? He had like a comedy sitcom thing, right? Where his
No, he had no comedy.
No, I don't think
he played the bad guy all the time.
Yeah, he was in a lot of movies. He was. Yep. But anyway, he had COVID-19 supposedly.
I loved him in Friday. He was in Media Man. What other movie? I don't think he ever played a good guy in any movie. I don't think I could.
Yeah, he never looked like a good guy. He had a cross-eyed.
Right. I'm like, which way you looking? I don't know what you looking at.
Yeah. I wouldn't tell him that. Though. I think he was like 6'5".
I see who he is. I see who he is. When you mentioned the crooked eye, I was like, okay, I know who it is. I was confusing him, for who. Again, I don't know his real name, but
he was definitely noticeable. Like if you would see him,
yeah,
you would know that people. Yeah. And also another guy who died. He's a trailblazer from country music. Charlie Pride. He died on December 12th at the age of 86. He also had COVID-19 apparently. And also, bro, Gilligan's Island. Remember we were talking about Gilligan's Island?
Oh,
the
yeah.
lady who played Mary Ann passed away as a result of COVID-19 complications. She was 82.
Oh, Jesus. She's that old?
Yep. Who'd you like, Mary Ann or Ginger?
I like both.
Who'd you take?
I ain't even take a preference.
Both
I
of them?
like both of them.
Yeah, they have similar but different kind of personalities and stuff. Yeah. I like variety. Marion Ramsey was Officer Laverne Hook in the Police Academy movies. I don't know. You're probably too young for this, Rashawn. But you remember Police Academy, anybody?
I heard about it, but I don't
I do.
Well, it's just funny movies about police officers. Yeah, she used to have the real low voice. She'd be like, freeze! And they'd be like, what? Freeze, I said freeze! Speak up, Officer Hook! And, she had a very shy, squeaky, low voice. Passed away, though, from January 7th. And they said it was undetermined causes, but then they said she also had COVID-19, so.
Yeah, they were trying to blame everybody death on COVID, Joe.
Oh, COVID is the excuse for everything, even when it isn't the problem.
That's what my wife said. It's like, oh, everything is COVID, huh?
Yeah. They be like,
yeah, everything is COVID. Yeah,
you got COVID. You be like, I got a headache. I got
COVID.
You be like, nah, ain't even
COVID. That's why every time I joke with my buddies, not my buddies, they are my buddies, my kids, 7 and 10 years old, a boy and a girl. And I joke with them all the time. I'm like, every time they sneeze, I'm like, hey, get that COVID out of here. So, just to lighten things up, man. This is crazy. But another one died from COVID at 75. Remember Siegfried and Roy? Yeah, the Lion guys. Roy Horn was already dead. Last year he died in May from supposedly complications of COVID. But Siegfried Fischbacher, 81, he was battling cancer, so he succumbed to that. So yeah, rest in peace to all these incredible celebrities, man, and also the Capitol Police guy, and he's also that one. Maybe we don't give enough notable deaths. I'm gonna go ahead and include people who deserve to be noted. So, and now it's time to get in that time machine, bro.
Uh-oh.
The DeLorean.
Let's go. Back to the future.
I came here in a time machine that you invented. Now I need your help to get back to the year 1985.
And this baby hits 88 miles per hour. You're gonna see some serious shit.
Whoa, this is heavy. The time machine? What is it, DeLorean?
You're gonna see some serious shit.
This was called On This Date. On this date, in January 16th, in history, in 1941, the War Department formed the 1st Army Corps Squadron for Black cadets. Interesting. In film and TV, in 1962, shooting begins on Dr. No, which is what, bro? The first what?
James Bond flick.
Yep.
And it had Sean Connery.
Yep. That's when they introduced him to the world. And in sports, in 1981, boxer Leon Spinks is mugged, and the muggers even took his gold teeth.
What they gonna do with his teeth?
I mean, that's some serious mugging. God damn.
Hey, you know what? That's what I feel. I feel
like
like
the
back
one
in the day when you got mugged, it was way more severe. Like they was taking teeth, and they couldn't get your ring off your finger. They broke your finger, took the ring.
Yeah, man, that's brutal. I'm gonna take your teeth.
Like, what you gonna do with somebody rattling teeth? I don't understand.
I'll tell you this. That kind of reminded me of when I was in boot camp, and the drill sergeants are telling us that you got to lock your shit up because People will steal your dirty drawers.
Damn.
Oh, you nasty.
But how about your? I mean, but how they gonna steal your teeth? How you gonna lock your teeth up?
Hey, if you got some dentures, you can lock them up. Hey, put them Jones right up in.
yeah. Just take them out. Oh man, it's crazy. I don't mean to laugh, but damn, that's some serious mugging, man.
It make you.
In music, in 1980, this is the last one here. Paul McCartney is arrested at Tokyo International Airport for possession of marijuana, which, by the way, is now illegal in a lot of places, and sent to jail for 9 days before being deported. I mean, the guy was deported. He was a Beatle.
Hey,
this dude was famous.
They should have gave him a pass. They were like, "Oh, go ahead, man. Give me a signature. Go ahead."
I know, right? It's just a little weed, you know. Shit, he just want to get high a little bit. All right, man. Well, we're gonna go ahead and do off the cuff stuff, which is basically random shit, as we like to affectionately refer to it as.
Random. What does he mean? Not random at all, maybe. Like there's some pattern here.
We ended last season a few days before my mother-in-law's birthday, so I never got to say happy birthday to her. I want to say may God continue to bless her. Her birthday was October 10th, and these
birthday, Ruth.
Yeah, Ruth top. And you know, may she live a long life, long and happy. And happy birthday, Ruth. And if it's your birthday out there today, happy birthday to you, to our faithful listeners. And now we're going to talk about.
Well, hold on now. I got birthdays too. I want to mention.
Man,
you know, 2 days prior to Ruth's birthday was my mom's birthday, so happy late birthday, Mom. And yesterday, you know, now that you mentioned birthdays, I remembered. It was my aunt's birthday in Portugal, Lucia. So I have to call her and say happy late birthday again.
Happy late birthday to Lucia and Custodia. Yeah. You got any birthday shout outs, Richard?
I wish I could remember somebody's birthday off a hand, but
yeah,
I can't at the moment.
You know what I thought of doing once? I thought of doing like a reminder service. Like, I think they have those out there now.
I think Google has got you beat, man.
Yeah, I'm sure by now, man. I should have started.
Google Calendar that reminds me of, you know, specific dates. However, it gets to be annoying because it tells me every single date that there is, you know, with holidays and everything else. So I turned it off. And at times I say, damn it, it didn't remind me. It doesn't work.
It's just you turned it off, though.
Right,
NFL
exactly.
news, you know, you love this NFL.
Yeah, you know, just the other day I was listening to something on the news about that team.
Hey, Rashad, I'm a big Washington football team.
Me too.
Fan.
Me too, man.
Are you really? I did not know that.
That's where I'm from. Yeah, that's where I'm from.
Oh, okay. All right. So you happy we won the East? Or as they called it, NFC East? Yeah. We got into the playoffs, bro.
Yeah.
First time in since 2015. But unfortunately, they lost to Tom Brady and the Bucks. But, you know, who thought we were going to actually give them a game? It wasn't even a blowout. Yeah. So that was good. I thought it was going to be a blowout. And they made it pretty exciting, man. And then we saw that new quarterback, Taylor Heineke. Nobody knew who that was.
Like, what is that? Is that the mustard guy? I don't know.
Yeah, they're going to put a drink out there, Heineken. But Heineke, like, man, this dude.
Thirsty. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm thirsty now. Yeah, he became a bit of a star, though, man. And he had an awesome performance. And I hope we sign him as a permanent quarterback. But who knows how the Skins do.
COVID's going to be the issue.
I know. Yeah. Well, speaking of COVID, in the NFL, COVID is spreading rapidly. I mean, every time you turn on the NFL news, man, it's like, this guy got COVID, that guy got COVID. Yeah, I
remember, I think on Baltimore Ravens, like 10 of their players got COVID, you know, at one time.
Yeah, they couldn't even play. Yep. Yeah, it was too much. Lots of games were rescheduled. Some fines were doled out to teams and coaches for not wearing their masks on the sidelines, you know, not following the safety protocol and procedures. But hey, man, they made it through a season. Well, it's not over yet. They have some games this weekend. And then we have the championship next weekend, and then the Super Bowl would be February. Washington fans, if there anybody listening that's Washington fans, try to follow this story here. Quarterback Dwayne Haskins, he was the first pick in 2019 draft, right? He got benched in the regular season in favor of quarterback Kyle Allen, who used to be with the Panthers. Quarterback Alex Smith, who got injured 2 years ago and finally came back, was the primary backup to Allen, which bumped Haskins to third string quarterback because Haskins was just doing poorly as far as I'm concerned. But then quarterback Allen, ended up going down with an injury as well. And Alex Smith came in once again as the first string quarterback. This made Haskins the backup. I'm pretty sure everybody's confused right now. But
I am.
He ended up starting. I know you are. He ended up starting the season, starting again because Smith got hurt again. And then he flopped. Haskins flopped a lot. He flopped often. Like, it was just, I don't know if he was throwing the game or what. I was right about this guy, though. I know a lot of people, I don't know how you feel about it, Rashad, about Dwayne Haskins, if you think the Skins did him wrong or, I don't know. But because we tend to mess up quarterbacks.
No, we can never quarterback. I don't think we've ever had a top quarterback.
I don't think, I don't think so either, man. But I think he was terrible, man. I mean, yeah, he did some good things. And actually, Alex Smith wasn't so much better. It was just the energy, I think. I just didn't see that Haskins was ready to be a professional NFL quarterback. I think maybe he should have stayed in school for another year. But I think it's a good move that they traded him season, even though it will be uncertain at the quarterback position. We kind of always are. After that horrific injury that Alex Smith had in 2018, though, and him being 35, 36 years old, I don't think he's coming back, to be honest. This is likely his last hurrah. But I'm sick of playing musical quarterbacks, man. I wish they would pick one and just.
Yeah, it's like we never get a definite answer of who is going to be the future for this team, and
right. And just when we think
they get hurt,
they pull the rug from us. Yep.
I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
So last year we left off with, all the scandal and so forth of the formerly known as team, their owner, how he was engulfed in scandal and all kinds of stuff. Yep. I believe he was even arrested at one point. So what happened?
I never really looked back into that, bro. I never really heard much about him. Did you hear anything about Dan Snyder's allegations and stuff? Like,
no, I didn't hear nothing about it.
So I was right then. If we go back to that one episode where I said that, I think it's all political and so on and so forth, and right now it's limelight, but it's going to die out.
Yeah, I think you're right. Then. Yeah, I think.
So is he still majority owner of the team?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess he's majority owner. But they had, he has other, I guess, minor owners of the share of the team.
Yeah, but we got into the whole conversation because they were calling for his resignation.
Right. Yeah, they were.
And you felt as though he had his finger, he was micromanaging. He had his finger always in the pot.
Always.
Mm-hmm. And you also wanted him to resign and just leave.
I do. What do you feel about that,
Rashad? But I don't think he's going nowhere.
Nah, I don't think so either. And if so, he's going to give it to his kids. I don't think he's going to give that up.
So I don't know the answer to this, but I'm guessing you guys might have a good idea for it. How much is his stake worth in the team? That team.
That's a question. That's a financial deep question.
That question sounds like it needs some research done first. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I figure it's not 1 or 2 or 5 or 10 million. It's up there, I'm guessing. At least to the double-digit millions, at least. And, double digit starts at 10. It goes all the way up to 99. But with that much money at stake yearly, I would think he's not going to go down without a fight.
I agree. Bro, go ahead and take us to break.
We'll be back after these messages.
Have you ever wanted to make your own podcast? Anchor can help. It's free. The creation tools allow you to record and edit right off your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. It can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from it too, with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need in a podcast in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. All right, we're back. It's time for Dear ODC, play devil's advocate for me.
I
do have an interesting one. Yes, bro.
Oh, go for it, man. Go for it.
All right. This is what it says. It says, "Hi, ODC. My husband wants me to watch movies with him, but he's always falling asleep. Every time I cook for him, he falls asleep too. Yet he wants us to spend quality time together. And he gets pissed when I point it out, and he says I'm picking on him. ODC, what's a wife to do?" Go ahead, bro.
Okay, so my take on this is, I should just give that emailer my wife's contact info because we watch movies together, and I'm knocked out. but there's something to be said about that. And perhaps maybe you should look at it from a different point of view. You are still spending time together. And the sheer fact that her husband falls asleep while they're watching a movie is the quality time that they have where he feels so comfortable and, he ends up falling asleep. So my question to her is this. When she moves, does he wake up?
Or is he just like a dead body?
Right, exactly.
I mean, like you said, they are spending time, but I could see her point, where she probably want more interaction. Maybe, they're watching a movie together, right? So it's like, maybe not zone out.
Well, here's another thought to that too. The poor guy could just be exhausted mentally from trying to figure out how to make ends meet, or something is weighing him down on his mind that, he just can't stop thinking, and that tires him out. But
okay, I'll throw a wrench in there though.
What
if he's
under suggestion? Melatonin will help regulate the sleep schedule. The archaic clock. Magnesium, the oxide type, it's better absorbed by the body. That could also be, due to a magnesium deficiency as well. Magnesium, zinc, there's many different ways. Research that.
Sure.
We'll see.
All right. Well, I hope that the, emailer is happy with that answer, but pretty sure you'll get some feedback.
Now, we do have someone who does podcasts on relationships. Let's ask him. Rashad, what is your take on this?
Well, my take is probably...
You started off with that giggle, boy. I don't know.
No.
That take is going to be something else.
It is. No, my take is, how about, having quality time a little earlier? Because if you're saying they falling asleep, maybe the quality time is too late. Because who's to say you should put a time on quality time? You see what I'm saying? Can you have a early late movie? If you know they fall asleep by 8 o'clock, how about moving quality time up to 4:30, maybe 5, right before dinner? That way y'all watch the movie, it's still quality time. And if he does fall asleep while you're right there, he fell asleep in your lap or whatever the case may be. They fall asleep in his favorite chair, who knows? But that's my take on it.
That's a good one. I like that.
Or here's another suggestion. Perhaps maybe make dinner preparation time a quality time.
Yeah,
right.
True.
That's true. Yeah, spend time different ways.
Right.
Yeah.
Like at my household, typically I make dinner, and my wife, she typically washes the dishes. So our quality time is her complaining about how messy I am when I'm cooking. She loves the cooking, but she hates the mess.
Hey, messy cooks are the best cooks. Messy cook, the best cook.
It's either that or she's pinching my ass as I'm cooking.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Hey, that's keeping it fresh.
That's keeping the fire going.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, wait till I finish cooking. You know.
What? You never seen 9.5 weeks?
Speaking of 9.5 weeks, that's a movie, right?
That's a movie.
We'll kick it. We'll go right into badass flick or just pure shit.
And here we go.
Are you the keymaster?
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
This baby hits 88 miles per hour. You're gonna see some serious shit.
Okay.
This is our movie review.
I had some, but now I got to remember them.
Well, I was gonna be nice and let you go this time.
Oh, what you?
Because I know you say I know, right? The one time. Well, since you don't.
Well, no, hold on. I have something.
Oh, okay.
About badass flicks or just pure shit. I'll say this. I'm rather disappointed. Well, I shouldn't say disappointed. We're left in awe, and with cliffhangers. We have a lot of cliffhangers this year. Okay, and like everything else, the excuses are because of COVID. Right? So they leave us hanging, in the middle of the storyline, in the middle of the season, because they can't get these episodes out fast enough because of COVID. So my lady and I, we've it's always a constant battle. Like, we'll prepare our meals. Sometimes me by myself, sometimes her by herself, and quite often, it's got either pinching of my ass or me tapping her ass. And then we argue about, not argue, more so like, we're indecisive about what to watch while we're consuming our dinner. Okay. So we like to watch more series like shows, and Netflix has come out with a whole bunch of them. But it seems like the only shows that seem to be coming out on Netflix regularly are coming out of Spain. Oh, and the UK.
See, yeah.
Okay. But recently we caught on to this show called 21 Thunder. Anybody ever heard of it?
21 Thunder?
21 Thunder is about a soccer team. And as you know, around the world, they call it football. They don't call it soccer.
Right.
And this takes place in Canada. Okay. It's not a BBC show. It's a Canadian version of BBC. And the show was a little bit on the slow side to starting off, but then it got good. And just as you're getting into it and you're following all the characters and all the drama that's happening in their lives, boom, COVID has stopped production. So that,
and they show it over there.
Say again?
They show how that impacts soccer, football.
No, not how COVID impacts football or soccer, but because of COVID, they stopped the production.
Oh, of the show itself.
Yeah,
okay,
so
gotcha.
it's one of those binge-worthy shows, but be warned, you're gonna be like, oh, there's no more. At the end, because when they get to that 7th episode or something like that, because they just cut it off because COVID is slowing things down.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We didn't get the full season yet, so that's one. 21 Thunder. Another one was I can't remember the name of this one now, but it's a British one, and it was actually very good as well. And we also got into that, but then again, it was like 4 episodes to this particular show, which I can't even remember the name of it, but it was good. Man, here's one that I mentioned on last year, Cobra Kai.
Oh, yeah.
2 episodes, and then of course there was a cliffhanger because I wanted to continue watching this shit, and I couldn't.
I brought it back.
So binge watching isn't anymore a 2-week, 3-week thing anymore. It's due to COVID. It's a 1 or 2 day thing. Yep. And that's my take on it. And these shows, including the one that I can't remember the name of it, I would say is a badass flicks.
Nice.
I don't have any
nice.
Shit.
So yeah, I don't really have a lot of pure shits. I've been, like you said, there's been a lot on Netflix, and there's been some good stuff. I also have Prime Video, from Amazon, so I watch a lot of different ones there. I got the Fire Stick, So, but I did find this one on Netflix called The Fear of 13, and I still don't know why they called it that. I guess I have to watch it again, but I really liked it. I just thought it was going to be the fear of the 13th floor or something like that, because there's actually places
day of the month that ends on a Friday.
Well, there's actually places in the world that they have buildings that have no 13th floor.
Yep,
which is really odd, but yeah.
But this is incidentally, do you know where the bad stigma comes from the number 13?
I don't.
You don't?
Do you?
Yeah, actually I do. This goes back to the Templars, wow. God's private army. They were tasked with being able to or providing protection for pilgrimages, not to Mecca, but to the Holy Land, Jerusalem. So,
wow.
Yeah, and they were basically knights, they were like priests. Priest knights, I guess you would say.
Right. Okay, yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I mean, so what happened was, and I'm not sure exactly which country this took place in, but what happened is that one of those kings, actually, it wasn't one of the kings. It was actually the Vatican. They decided, they thought that the Templars had become too popular and too powerful, where kings were paying attention to them and gifting them things and lands and so on, that the Vatican then decided to slaughter them all simultaneously across Europe. So that took place on Friday the 13th of whatever year it was.
So 13 became the bad luck day.
Bad luck day, yeah.
Bad luck number, overall. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's why I thought this was going to be about that, because it says The Fear of 13.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a documentary about a death row inmate and his story, which I thought was awesome because I love stuff about death, and and also stuff about inmates and stuff, because I'm actually studying, Rashad, for behavioral sciences degree right now, University of Phoenix. And I've always been, ever since I was like 15, I think I can remember that I was into like serial killers. And I know people think I'm crazy because of that, but it's just their behavior and why they think this, why, and I also had have a mentally challenged sister that, I was able to kind of like observe growing up. And,
Rashad, do you see a pattern here with this love where he starts to show with notable death?
I started on a somber note to finish on a high note.
I mean, this mofo, when we were in high school, man, he talked for hours and hours about serial killers. And I used to look at him like, bro, you okay? But it was a
I'll tell you a story about that. My sister used to have like a in-home caretaker, and I was I'm 2-3 years younger than her, so she used to watch me too. And I was about 15 at the time, and I was reading this book about the serial killer named Richard Chase. And she said, "So what you reading?" And she's Jehovah's Witness, okay? And you know how they can be.
I can only imagine where this story is going.
And she sat next to me on the couch, and she said, "What are you reading?" I said, "Oh, it's about Richard Chase." She said, "Who Richard Chase?"
Who that is?
I said, "Oh, he killed about 15 people," and I started telling her all the gory details,
Mm-hmm.
And she just looked at me. She gave me this look like I had horns growing out of my head, bro. I was like, she was kind of like creeping away from me. I was like, "What are you doing?"
Did she later on in that month quit her job, bro?
No, you know what she did? She invited the whole family to a Jehovah's Witness thing. And so we went to a church.
Oh, I could only imagine. I could only imagine
like
when
she
she
was trying to
told
save
her
me.
pastor, she said this whole family needs savings.
Needs help. They need Jesus. Yeah. But no, man.
They don't say Jesus. They say the Lord.
The Lord, yeah, Jehovah.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I thought that was a pretty funny story. But
they don't call it church; they call it a Kingdom Hall.
Okay, well, there you go. They took me to the Kingdom Hall, and I'm still fucked up now.
Yes, you're unsavable.
But I'm unsavable. But no, this show, the inmate talks about his experience on death row and how he got there, how he ended up changing. You know what I mean? He even tells about like the story about what he did to get there and how he escaped once and got caught. It was really cool, man. It was really cool. I think if you want to check it out, The Fear of 13 is on Netflix.
The Fear of 13. I can only imagine, based on your description, that he goes way back to when he was a kid, and
he tells about stuff that he was when he was a kid. Yeah,
and I'm guessing that he kind of narrates his whole life.
Yeah, he does. But they show like clips and stuff, and yeah, so it's pretty cool, man. And now it's time for shout out. Outs. First, I'd like to thank Rashad Burt for coming on ODC. Thank you, Rashad.
Shout out, Rashad.
And sharing your wisdom on relationships, love, everything else that we asked you and threw at you, put you on the spot.
Man. No problem, man. No problem.
All right, man. And I hope to have you back soon. Secondly, I want to shout out our whole entire fan base for waiting our hiatus period and then, listening to us again.
Our excuses, it was because of COVID.
It was all COVID.
It's COVID's fault.
That's right.
Coronavirus!
But we appreciate all of you out there, man, listening to the show and enjoying it, despite the fact that you got things to do and people to see, or maybe things to see and people to do. I don't know. But seriously, thank you. And that'll be it for us, peeps. And we'd like to thank you again. And just want to remind you that we're on Instagram at off_DA_CUFF. And on Facebook, we're at Off the Cuff Podcast. And don't forget to email us with your questions for Dear ODC, Off the Cuff Podcast at gmail.com. And, just give us your comments, suggestions, gripes, moans, complaints, whatever you desire. And for all of you listening for the first time, why? No, I'm just kidding. Go back and enjoy the first season of our podcast journey. And we appreciate you again. And thank you as well to always just coming through and supporting. See you all on the flip side.
Now, I do want to say something here to our loyal listeners, all three of them. Last season, when I became involved with Off the Cuff, our episodes went from 30 minutes to, 3 hours. We had a part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, even at times, And this year we are working hard to curtail it down and hopefully not more than 45 minutes. So I want to ask you, bro, how long do you think this segment has been?
Longer than 45 minutes.
Longer than 45. Okay, but it's not going to be something that we're going to have to split up into 2 or 3 parts, right?
No. Not this time. And I appreciate that, bro.
All right.
All right, Rashad.
Rashad, it's been a pleasure talking with you. I hope you come back again on the show.
Oh, man, no problem, man. Hey, once you invite me, I'm here. Just invite me. I got you.
Yeah. And thanks for putting up with us, man.
You know what I'm saying? Hopefully y'all can return the favor, man.
It was fun, for sure.
I had a lot of fun doing this one segment.
Take care.
All right.
Yeah, me too, man. All right. Peace, everybody.
Peace.